All right, so it's Friday, November 3rd, and I actually recorded a video a couple days ago on something totally different. We're in the messy office. Toolboxes inside the house is fully approved. 3D printers. This is all organized storage and whatever. Excuse me. But so here I am. I sat down to start editing the video that I shot a couple days ago, and I realized, oh, November 3rd. So I have an anniversary coming up on the 5th, which this year's Saturday. But it got me thinking, like, I have done so much in life. Um, it's crazy. Like, I don't have you been to all 50 states and Washington D.C.? And do you have two motorcycles that have been to 48 states, Washington D.C., and one to two Mexican states, one to two Canadian states? Like it's stuff like that. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that I can say I've done, published, writing both in magazine articles and in a chapter in a book, and currently writing another book. And I've been on TV, I've been in the news multiple times, usually for good, actually never for bad, so that's good. Just filmed a very small production, a scene for a movie, and I have one other scene to follow that up later this month. Like there's a ton of stuff that I can say I've done that people cannot say they have done, and there's a ton of stuff that other people have done that I'll never be able to say I've done as well. So nowhere is this I'm better than anyone, but um, like it just kind of reflected, especially on the last 16 years, because, or at least on Sunday, it'll be 16 years. But that is November 5th, 2007, is my sobriety anniversary. So I've been sober for, technically tomorrow is the last day of the 16th year. But so, it's kind of a crazy journey. And a lot of these things, like getting a motorcycle, yeah, I took a divorce, but if I didn't get sober, I wouldn't have been able to afford a motorcycle, or wouldn't be alive anywhere near as long as I have been. Let alone getting, we have 3 running motorcycles and 2 project bikes right now, and we were at 9 at one point. Like, so if I hadn't quit drinking, I couldn't have done that. If I hadn't quit drinking, I wouldn't have a second smaller set of tools in the office, so I don't have to go out to the garage and bring stuff in, or work out in the garage when it's 117 or 28 or whatever. Like, I think back at all these things. The relationship I have now, the longest relationship I've been in, would not have continued to be as wonderful as it is if I hadn't quit drinking when I did. I quit drinking and met my second ex-wife. Actually, we were drinking together, then we broke up dating. I quit drinking, we started dating again. Things were different. I was still learning who I was, like that was part of it. Years later, we got married. Years later, we got divorced. That was a trial and a tribulation through my sobriety time. Man, that was like the one time that honestly thought, this sober life is not going to work for me. Was through my second divorce. The sober life didn't even become a thought or an idea through my first divorce. I was definitely obliterated the whole time. So, but that's the thing, is like it's now 16 years. It's not even, for me, it's not even a thought, or an idea to have a drink. And we have $2,500 worth of booze in the house. So it's not like I couldn't, right now, I could go grab a bottle and drink whatever I wanted. We were talking about this to our kid, and she's 14, so it's like not everybody has. I don't remember how the conversation came up, but not everybody has the drinking problem that I had, at half a gallon a day on the weekend and a fifth a day during the week, to being able to be around alcohol. There's people that only drank a couple of drinks and got drunk and got a DUI or got lippy or whatever, and they struggle to not have any, and they only had a couple of drinks at a time or whatever. But there's people, and there's everyone else in all the ranges in the middle. That some people struggle with whatever their addiction is, not necessarily just drinking. Maybe food or sex or alcohol or drugs or whatever the addiction is. That struggle with staying away from that addiction, social media, the phone, all that, texting, second by second. Like it's a constant ongoing battle. And that's just kind of the way it is, so excuse me. But explaining that to her, she kind of thought about it and she goes, oh yeah, that makes sense, but of all of the things I have done in life, the single most important, impactful, and good thing has been becoming sober. And I'm not one of those people that's like, I'm sober, you should be sober too. Because sobriety isn't for everyone. And there are health benefits, excuse me again. There are health benefits of certain types of alcohol and certain quantities. Like, that's cool. A glass of wine a day has been proven for multiple things, heart health and other stuff. Problem for me is that one drink is the whole bottle. I'm having all of it. Like it didn't matter if it was wine or booze. I never really was a beer drinker. But yeah, so that was the thing, is talking to her about the struggle, is that not everybody can compartmentalize like I have with alcohol and be around it or whatever their addiction is. And it's a struggle for some people constantly. So, but again, the single most important thing I've done is become sober. And I think that if more people could realize they have a problem, maybe not become sober, but drink less alcohol or use less whatever, food, drugs, sex, phone, whatever your addiction is, if we could all, and that, just because I don't drink alcohol anymore doesn't mean I'm addiction free. Like food, I eat the heck out of food. It shows, it's right there, But the thing in the end is that if we could all identify that we have a problem, we would all become better individually, which would make us collectively as a group better. And I don't see where that's bad. When I decided to become sober, a coworker at the time, another Marine, and he was, I don't know, 12 years, 10 years older, 8 years older, somewhere around there. He goes, I'm proud of you. I was really worried. What do you mean you were worried? Well, I've known you had a problem for a long time. Well, why didn't you say something? And he looked at me, he smiles and he goes, would you have listened? And I didn't even have to think about it. I was like, no, I wouldn't have. He's like, that's why I didn't tell you. Because we all have to hear the message, whatever the message is, in our own time, at the right time. Like, that's just how it works. And he was right. I wouldn't have listened. And sometimes you have to be careful, because sometimes you can approach somebody with something like that and they don't listen, and it becomes worse, whatever the issue is. So I'll show them. Oh, hang on. Little Oliver. So he has a knack of waking me up in the mornings and headbutting me and cuddling up under my beard and kneading my face and my beard and my chest. 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So he's a good cat, but he just loves me a little more than he probably should. But you know, if we don't hear our own message in our own time, it doesn't always work. The message doesn't always get heard. So, excuse me. I don't need. And some of you are gonna do it anyway. But I don't. This video isn't a hey, look at me, look what I did. I'm 16 years sober. This video is. I got where I got, and I've done some of the cool things I've done because I made a hard decision at some point and I stuck with it. Because don't get me wrong, I see a bottle of Jack Daniels and I'm like, man, I even grab it sometimes and open it up and smell it because I still love the smell of Jack Daniels. Driving past their distillery in that whole region, oh man, it's so amazing. Some of the most beautiful motorcycle riding is right in that region, Lynchburg, Tennessee, and it's phenomenal riding at the right time of year, because it can be pretty bad too with the rains. But the scenery and the moss and the smells and the big oak trees, it's just crazy. So that's cool. Something that I would have never done, most likely, had I not gotten sober. Now, if you were to decide that sobriety is a thing for you, or you have already made that decision and you're on that journey, that journey can vary. I mean, for me, for the first 8 months, and then 6 or 8 months, and then a couple periods here and there over the next year, and then going through my second divorce, it was rough. So, but the thing is that wherever you are in your journey with quitting one addiction or another, or really just making an important decision and sticking to it, it will get tough at times, but decisions like that are worth it. So wherever you may be in that journey, or if you're thinking about it, one thing I suggested to somebody a couple years ago, and they ended up doing it and were like, holy cow, my life's totally different. Give it 45 days, you know, quit drinking or eating dessert extra or whatever you think you might have it. You think, even if you just think this might be an issue. So set limits, set boundaries, and stick to them. You know, quit drinking for 45 days and kind of look back at your bank account and how well you slept. The first, especially with alcohol, because there's a couple studies out there, just quitting alcohol altogether, if you're drinking like I did, can be very bad for you. And honestly, the withdrawals and stuff that I went through were horrible for the first couple of weeks. Luckily, I was still smoking and dipping at that point. I don't know if that's luckily or not, but it helped substantially. But the thing is that, you know, quit something for 45 days. And I don't say 30, 45, it's, you know, they say, hey, it takes 2 weeks. Some exercise takes 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, to set and establish a new, good, healthy habit. But if you want to challenge yourself to see if you have a problem with a substance or alcohol or whatever, give it 45 days without, and just see what happens. Like maybe you'll start sleeping better, because one of the reasons I drank was to sleep better. That's all the science says. No, that doesn't work that way. You might feel that way, but you're not sleeping that well. But yeah, you know, like I said, it's just try it, think about it. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. And if you're in that journey, if you are sober, awesome. I hope that it's smooth and easier every time. If you know somebody who struggles with one addiction or another, and they've decided to get better or get help, ask them how you can help, but don't beat a dead horse. Like, you know, you good? Yep, okay. How can I help? This way, okay. Some people need to be kept away from alcohol, and so sometimes you have to change who your friends are. So just one of those things to think about. Like I said, if you think you might have a problem, it's not going to hurt at all to stop drinking or whatever, and see what the outcome is. I don't know, food for thought. So Just my idea. If you're struggling with an addiction of one type or the other, maybe, or if you think you maybe are, ask a friend. Ask ask that guy that's like me that'll tell you, or that girl that'll just tell you the truth. Here it is. I didn't want to hear it, but there it is. Maybe you'll be surprised, and maybe some self-reflection is the way to go. But the last 16 years, yeah, they've had their downs. Nothing's perfect, but it's so many more ups, and my head is so much more cleared. And the things that I've done because I got sober, the people I've met, the places I've been, because I got sober. It's crazy. One decision. This was not a little decision. Not for me, it wasn't. One decision changed everything. And in this case, that one decision changed everything to the positive. So, yeah, I think that's it. There will be another video in a couple days. So, and then we're going to start the trailer series. I just picked up some wire. Here is what, I'll put a picture right now. Here is what just over a mile of wire looks like. 7 different colors in one gauge, 4 different colors in another gauge. Most of them are 500 feet long, roughly. One is 300 feet, so 5,300 feet of wire, I think it is, which is 5,280 feet in a mile. Here you go. But yeah, so stay tuned. Like, don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe, notification bell or don't. I don't care. Whatever you want to do, you do you. Remember that you are loved, you have value, and you have purpose. Never forget it. Have a great day. Make today great.